Today in the grid, it's a big day, and we're not only going to show you how to do a Kickstarter of your own, we're going to launch one live on the air. Our special in-studio guests today are Larry from Platypod and the mad scientist of macro.com. And we've got some really cool new stuff to give away, and it all starts in just 60 seconds.
Grid is brought to you by Tamron. Check out their 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 lens. It's for Sony full frame mirrorless. It's awesome. Go to tamron-usa.com.
And Profoto, the light shaping company. Check out the Profoto B1X, powered all the right places. Go to profoto.com/US.
And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby, and it's a very special episode of Blossom. No, we have a very, very exciting day today. I've got some great guests with me. To my right, you probably recognize him from his appearances on The Grid before, a fan favorite here on The Grid, and the inventor of the Platypod. It's Larry, also known as Dr. T, and for you KISS fans, he's also known as Dr. Love. So welcome, Larry.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to have you again on this very exciting day. We also have all the way from Canada an amazing, a freaking amazing macro photographer, Don Com. Welcome, Don.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
Now, you have a really hard last name, which is why we call you Don Com.
That works. My last name is Komarechka, for the record.
There you go. Komarechka?
That's right.
Did I say that right?
You did.
Yeah, and I'm really bad. Don't expect it again. Com, though. Hey, that's my computer. Thanks. Anyway. We have a really exciting show. I got to look at some of Dom's work earlier today, and Larry had shown it to me a few months ago, and he's just doing some sick stuff. Can you want any of his work we can take a look at real quick? Maybe you could comment on what we're about to see, because it's disturbing. No, it's not. Let's see if we can throw some of his stuff up on the screen. We're just going to sit here until that happens. If not, we'll just take out a camera and reshoot it, because it's really easy. All right, so is this your book?
That is my upcoming book, yeah. So if we're talking about Kickstarter campaigns and what have you, that was successfully funded on Kickstarter in the second half of 2019, and it'll be out this quarter.
That's a crazy shot on the cover.
That is a wildflower seed that has water droplets on it. Those droplets are acting like lenses. So in behind is placed a flower, and it's coming through those little droplets as they refract an image of it. That's some of the magic of macro that's all in the book.
Wow, that is cool. Let's see if we see, I think we have some of your shots.
So this is into the mad scientist realm. This is an ultraviolet fluorescing sunflower, a garden variety that's ornamental, but boring yellow petals turn into this cascade of color. The pollen is glowing bright yellow. All this is really easy to do. It's just a regular plain old camera with whatever lens you've got. If it can focus on a sunflower, most can. The trick is that you have an ultraviolet light source that's hitting the subject in a dark room. What bounces back to the camera is fluorescing light. And it's transformative for so many things in nature, insects and flowers and so much else.
Where do you get an ultraviolet light?
eBay, Amazon. I mean,
Really?
there's so many
Just
places.
anywhere?
There's.
You have to go to the CIA to get them and just get them on
They sell them
Amazon?
to find dog pee on carpets and scorpions in garages.
Oh,
They're,
okay.
I mean, you can get better ones, of course.
Dude, if I find a scorpion in my garage, I'm moving.
So here's a behind-the-scenes setup. Conveniently, of course, using some Platypod, Platypod Max and some gooseneck arms in order to light this tiny little string of some wildflower seeds on the surface of water. This is all kitchen table stuff that you can do with very minimal investment. I'm not even using a macro lens to make an image like this, which I believe we have the...
What's that, 24 to 105?
That's a 24 to 105.
You know how I knew that?
Because it says it right on the barrel.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, that makes me look smart. Thanks. Next slide, please. Click.
Here's another fun setup where you've got a courtesy of Larry T. He drilled a 1/4-20 hole on the side of a clothespin that I could mount that on one of those gooseneck arms, and in there we have a fairly ornate wildflower seed, a goat's beard seed, and it's creating some really wonderful droplets. I wish we had the images in maybe a different order here so that we could see the behind the scenes and the actual resulting image, but either way we can have some fun.
Hey, you know that gooseneck arm that you see there? So we're giving away one of those on the show today. So for all of those of you who own a platypod of some sort, these goosenecks. Now, you introduced these goosenecks at Photo Plus.
At Photo Plus, and we actually came out with them in December. And what makes our goosenecks very special is that they're stackable. So you can put two of them together. I don't know if you can pull
you
and
see
see
there? There's
over
two
here.
right here.
You can make it double length, or you can make it a single length. You can mount some little LED lights on it.
So
and
useful.
Very useful.
And we're giving away a 2-pack of these
two-pack.
stackable mounts. It says right on the back, and they couldn't lie, it's in print, stackable mounts. All right. So we're giving that away today as one of our gifts. But we have a very exciting day today because we're going to be talking about how to start a Kickstarter. You did this Kickstarter for your book. It was tremendously successful. And you've done Kickstarters before to launch the Platypod Ultra.
And Max.
And the Max. So both of them have been done with Kickstarters. And is there any possibility of another Kickstarter sometime soon?
What's behind curtain number? We are going to be launching a very special Kickstarter right here on the grid in about 24 minutes.
Woo! So that's exciting. We'll talk about what's in there. Now, I got to talk about something before. If we can scroll the thank you. We do have an outline. All right. So something happened today that is unrelated to any of this. It's not photography. It's not Kickstarter. But I got to get it off my chest. So I want to congratulate Whitney Houston. So I've been a Whitney Houston fan for as long as I can remember. Her song, Saving All My Love for You, was just, I think, one of just the greatest songs. She did a ton of great songs. Love Whitney Houston. Love her as a person. Love her as an artist. And I want to congratulate her for being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. However, I do have a question for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't generally think of Whitney Houston, love her as I do, lifelong fan, never thought of her as a rock and roller. But so I want to ask this question. So Whitney Houston is in, which is great, good for her. Where are bands like Boston or Peter Frampton, Motley Crue, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne, Pat Benatar, Jethro Tull, Todd Rundgren, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Bad Company, Supertramp, Steppenwolf, The Scorpions, Styx, Thin Lizzy, Foreigner, Grand Funk Railroad, Badfinger, Joe Walsh, Huey Lewis, Phil Collins, Ted Nugent, Bryan Adams, Kansas, any of those people?
Hey, Scott, what about Barry Manilow?
Where? Barry Manilow isn't on that list, but you know what? If you're going to put, Whitney Houston in, why not Barry Manilow? Here's the thing. I love Whitney. Loved her my whole life. She's not a rock and roller. This would be the same as having, say, I'm in charge now, Scott's in charge of the Football Hall of Fame, right? So these amazing athletes I've put into the Football Hall of Fame, and I decide I'm going to add A-Rod. You go, Scott, he's a bass player. Yeah, a baseball player. Well, it's okay because he's an athlete. So if you're going to put Whitney Houston, who is not a rock and roller, has never done a rock and roll song, and no one in the world thinks she's a rock and roller, into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, why not add some baseball players to the Football Hall of Fame? They're all athletes. I just don't get it, and it's chapping me today. Come on, I don't know what's happening at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is a travesty. Anyway, the Doobie Brothers got in, so I'm happy.
I'm hoping one day you'll get over this. I really am.
I'm going to be over it by the end of this show because actually about 22 minutes I'm going to be celebrating something much more important than who got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I just had to get this off my chest. I was like, my good buddy Jeff Ravel texted me this morning, Whitney Houston's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm sitting there going, he's pranking me. I had to go look it up and I thought, oh my gosh, she's in the Hall. And nothing against Whitney. Love Whitney. And Biggie's in. I don't think of Biggie. When I think of rock and rollers, where is Motley Crue? Come on. Anyway, that being aside, we have some other important things today. So I got to tell you real quickly, I'm leaving tomorrow morning to do something that is unrelated to all this crap too. Tomorrow morning I'm leaving for Los Angeles to the, I'm going to the National Association of Musical Merchants show. So it is a musical instrument show. So all the big musical instrument manufacturers are there. It's a trade show. So Fender's there, and Gibson's there, and Ibanez is there, and Zildjian's there, and Paiste there, and D-Drum's there, and everybody, all of these manufacturers are there.
Will Barry Manilow be there?
Barry Manilow will not be there either. Do you want to ask if there's anybody there, Dom? Anybody obscure that's not going to be there?
You know who we're
I don't
gonna get a
know.
call from by
Doug and the
end of the
Slugs? I think he's passed on now these days, but anyhow.
You're only allowed to name Canadian artists. So Bryan Adams will not be there. So here's the thing. What's cool about it is the sponsor, like these companies sponsor musicians, and there'll be a ton of musicians there, like big famous musicians playing. There'll be all kinds of instruments and stuff. And I would buy a guitar, but I just bought one, just came in the other day, so I probably can't get another guitar. But anyway, my buddy and I are going out there, hang out. We're going to go to Norman's Famous Guitars, which is in Thousand Oaks. It's a famous guitar store I've never been to. I'm really excited, and then I'm going to be at Imaging USA, so I'm leaving there and flying straight to Nashville, so I'll be there Sunday and Monday. Will you be at Imaging?
We'll be at Imaging USA.
Imaging?
Unfortunately not. I'm going to be shooting something for National Geographic.
He's Canadian anyway.
Excuse me. Hey, do you want to hear something exciting? I haven't told you guys. I signed a contract with National Geographic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a year contract. So I get 12 issues, and I got a really good deal. It's a good deal, like really good. It was so good you can't say no. It was like, I don't know, like $9 or something for 12 issues. So I'm pretty excited. Okay, moving right along. We have some quick shout outs.
Impressive.
Ray's here from Utah. Lisa's here from Wisconsin. Larry says Nebraska's in the house. James says hello from California. David's here from Sweden. John Balboni from Chile, Massachusetts. Hey, John. Yolanda's here. Mariana's here. Hi.
Oh, wait,
greetings
can
from
I say
London.
the next one?
You may, of course.
It's Cheeky Nando. Hello,
Cheeky
Nando. Nice to see you.
Cheeky. Mike's here from Phoenix, and he says, looking forward to Scott and his crash course coming to town next month. I will be there. I'm looking forward to it as well. Kent says hello from exotic Indianapolis. Kathy's here from Larkspur, Colorado. Sean's here she says hello all from London.
Hey, Sean.
Eric's, you know Sean.
I know
Everybody
Sean.
knows Eric's here. Stefan's here from Quebec. We're glad to have so many people watching all over. So let's really quickly, because we're going to have to take a break in a few minutes, because we're doing a shorter break so we can show you this amazing video. But so you started a Kickstarter thing.
I did.
It was very successful.
Yes.
We saw a cover of the book that it came from.
Yes.
Well, not everyone will have such a great cover. And then, they say, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but that's how they're sold. So good on you for picking such an amazing image for the cover.
Well, we did a lot of A/B testing. I sent out about 4 or 5 different covers, both with different text and everything. There was a lot of thought that goes into something as simple as the cover, even before the book is written, in order to make sure. I do a lot of mad scientist work, and I thought, that'd be really fun to put on the cover, but it would push it too far into obscurity. With something like water droplet refraction photography, I can teach that to people in a few hours, and you can make images just like that with the right ingredients. It's much more approachable than you realize, and it's so much fun. We saw the behind-the-scenes image from this one earlier, and this is one of my favorite from this year. This is the one where Larry had given me a little clothespin, and it's holding this little seed.
So we saw the behind-the-scenes for this.
We saw the behind-the-scenes, and to make something that looks like this with such simple ingredients, it's really freeing to give away all of those secrets and show everybody how it's done.
And you cover all that in your book.
It's all in the book.
That's great.
Wow. So your book is not just a coffee table book, it's a learning book too.
There's probably more text than there are images in the book.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. I just assumed it just looked like a coffee table book, so I just assumed.
Well,
And you know what happens when you assume?
There you go.
There you go. All right. So we're going to need to pick up on how to do your own Kickstarter, because you both have ideas on this, and now it's making me thinking I want to do a Kickstarter. But we're going to do a Kickstarter. But so are we going to watch a video about your Kickstarter now? Is that now?
In a little bit, in
Are we gonna wait?
about 10 minutes.
Oh,
About
we're going
10
to wait a few minutes. Okay, good.
But Scott?
Yes, Larry?
May I call you Scott?
Please.
Thank you. Okay. I just want to say something introductory about Kickstarter
do.
so people can understand, because I think a lot of our audience, and that's one of the reasons we're here to introduce the concept. Kickstarter is really a community. It's a community of people made up of creators like Don and myself, and backers who help to support those creators. For our project, which we're going to reveal pretty soon, we approached 5 prominent tripod companies to go and say, we got a great idea. I'm not sure we're capable of doing this ourselves, but you've got the infrastructure to do it. Can we collaborate with you? And 5 companies turned us down and said, no, we're not really interested in hearing what you have to say. Kickstarter is a place where a independent, small mom-and-pop company like us can go and bring out a new idea, present it in a fresh way, present something that hasn't been done before, and have people help us out to bring it out into the world. It can cost a lot to bring a new product to market, and Kickstarter makes this possible, where otherwise kinds of products that we produce, like the Platypod and like our new product, the Platyball, otherwise would never see the light of day.
And what's under that red thing? It's hidden, isn't it?
We're going to see that after
We're
the
going
video.
to see that after the video.
Yes.
So let's take a short break. We're not going to show that video yet. It's coming up. When we get back, we'll talk about how to do a Kickstarter. And so stick around for that. Don't go away. It's going to be an exciting day, etc. Don's here, so that's good.
And Barry Manilow's not.
Is the tripod dead? Sure, a tripod works for basic shots, but who wants to be basic? You don't need basic, you need blockbuster. And that's a job for a Platypod. The Platypod is your go-anywhere, do-anything flat tripod base. Its compact design helps you discover unique angles that you could never reach with a typical tripod. So, whether you're bringing up baby, driving Miss Daisy, or with your beasts of the Southern Wild, you can capture big-budget footage and stills for a fraction of the time and money. So go ahead, shoot the next Rocky or Birdman. Or on the waterfront, the Platypod is equipped to grip uneven surfaces and hang from just about anything. When tripods go low, the Platypod goes lower. Its flat base reaches the lowest possible angle, resulting in truly inventive shots that can't be replicated with traditional equipment. And if you feel like adding a dramatic overhead angle, the Platypod has you covered. Just strap it or screw it in, and you're ready to go within minutes. The Platypod is constructed from aircraft-grade aluminum and titanium. Yeah, the stuff Air Force One is made of. So it's durable enough to travel with you from Chinatown to Casablanca and everywhere in between. If you only take the tripod, the story ends. You wake up the next morning with nothing but basic footage. Or you could take the Platypod to a museum, or on an elevator, or strap it to a tree, or hanging on a bench at church, or put it on the ground and get incredible blockbuster footage. Who are we kidding? You should totally take the Platypod. The tripod is not dead, but it needs a sidekick. The Platypod.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we're back. Scott here with Don and Larry, Dr. T from Platypod. It's a Platypod kind of day. We're giving one away. So we've got some great giveaways for you today. Look, it's the Platypod Ultra, the greatest camera support in the history of camera supports, right here.
Right there.
Right there it is. Right there. Sweet, baby. Fits in your pocket. And don't use the tripod. Use this. Okay. Also, going to give away a copy of my Natural Light Portrait book. This was not a Kickstarter. I had publishers who take all the money. and they kick me back a small amount, like 5 cents a book. So anyway, this is another reason why you would want to kickstart it. Okay, and then that's it. We're giving away, of course, the gooseneck, which we have right here. It's Lucy, it's Goosey. We're giving. That should be your tagline. It's Lucy, it's Goosey.
That's not going to be our tagline.
Why can't that be your tagline? You mentioned Barry Manilow. How can that?
Scott, you're having a hard day, obviously. It's not going to be Lucy Goosey. Sorry.
All right, who votes for Lucy Goosey as being? It's Lucy. It's Goosey.
All right, we're
we're
counting the responses coming in.
Tell me it shouldn't be right on the packaging. It should say the stackable mounts gooseneck. It's Lucy, it's Goosey.
That's almost as good as my line is that geese all have goosenecks. Why shouldn't you?
So Don,
I am.
Canada, isn't it cold up there? Does it get? Where are you at? Quebec? Where?
I'm Barrie, Ontario. It's about an hour north of Toronto, and it was a blizzard when I left
It's not
2 days
Toronto. Are you American? It's Toronto.
I'm trying to pronounce things like an American here. I'm
Don't
trying
do
to
it.
fit in.
Don't do it. You're already fitting in. All right. When you shoot like you do, you're in. You're already in the club. All right. So let's just say that I had an idea and I wanted to do it. Let's say I wanted to do a Kickstarter. Okay. So what's step one?
Well, what do you want to kickstart?
I want to kickstart a book. I want to do a photo book, not a teachy book, a photo book.
Okay, well then you have to understand what the audience might be for just a photo book. My audience for my book was people that like the way that I teach, like the writing style and the educational style that I provide, and wanted that in a book form. If you want to make a coffee table book, then there's a market for that too, but it's not the same market.
No, it's not. You're right.
So you have to understand exactly what that audience is going to be and start to cultivate that audience well before you start this Kickstarter campaign. When I had done my first book on snowflakes, which is a very obscure niche topic, it was a very successful campaign on Indiegogo because I spent about 2 years cultivating an audience. When Google Plus was still around, I had 1.3 million followers on that platform, all dedicated to following that project, which was a daily dose of snowflakes and knowledge and not just the images. And that funneled into an audience. When I launched that campaign, I had that group of people that already I had earned their trust, and immediately they said, okay, well, you've given it to us all for free. Now we're willing to pay for it because we've had this relationship established.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so once you've determined if there is a market, because you never know, right? You think there's a market for whatever it is.
Well, your mom will always buy
Yeah,
one.
my mom will. I don't know if she'll buy mine. Mine's all nude selfies. But anyway, plus my mom is dead, so it's getting worse. Anyway, back to our story. All right, so you go on, you apply to do one, you set up an account.
Kickstarter doesn't let everybody, although it might seem that way when you look at some campaigns.
So how do they review your idea?
Yeah, so you'll fill out as much of the critical information as possible to begin with, and then you submit to kind of get a green light. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to launch at that point, but it does mean that they've accepted you on the platform and that your idea kind of meets their standards.
Okay. Well, I've already been accepted on the platform in that I've bought Kickstarter stuff. So I've paid for stuff. I'm accepted as kind of like someone looking in, right? Hey, speaking of someone looking in, you might be wondering, where's Eric? Well, actually, Eric is here. Eric is on the periphery looking in, but even though he's not here, his images are. So there he is. So Eric is tied to the bottom there, and the water is trying to cool Eric's body as the flames burst him into 1,000 pieces. So that's why he's not here. He was burned to death in a recent SpaceX launch. No, he's not. He's here. He's around the corner, but he's doing a launch this weekend. So
You gotta love those photos.
Yeah, they're doing that.
Amazing.
Oh yeah,
Love them.
his stuff is. Well, anyway, we just wanted to show it. We only have 3 mics. That's basically it. So it's a small desk, 3 mics. Somebody had to go. We flipped the coin. Eric lost, but he will be back, of course. So he's floating around here doing the Eric stuff. But we want to show you one of his pictures. Okay, so let's just say that they do agree. Okay, you're accepted. What's the next step?
Well, you've got to make sure that whatever you build up as a campaign in terms of the marketing collateral is going to entice people to a call to action, which means you get them to pledge to that campaign.
Right.
You have to be convincing. You have to be honest. You have to be comprehensive in the material that you present. You have to produce a very clear outline of exactly what it's going to cost, what your timelines are, and exactly what you're going to deliver. The more information that you can give people in the most concise way as possible, the better chances you'll have. And that often includes producing a video that has as much information in the shortest amount of time.
Right, I've seen the videos.
Because people don't have a lot of attention. And if you can get 2 minutes of their time, or even 10 seconds of their time, and you get them hooked, then they'll follow on and hopefully get excited about the project and contribute to it.
All right. What do you have to add to that? You've done a few Kickstarters.
Well, what we're doing instead of books is we're doing products. Number one, you have to make sure that you're filling a need. If it's something that's been done 10 times already, it's very unlikely that you're going to get good backing for it. It's got to be a great concept. It's got to be presented beautifully. And you've consulted with me on our product and have made that point very clearly. And as Don said, You need a good video to present. You need good information on your Kickstarter, and that helps it fly. And speaking of videos, I think we have
All
one
right,
coming up.
so we're going to kick off a Kickstarter video here in just a few seconds, and I've not seen this yet. So I'm seeing this video for the first time. I'm going to be watching it for the first time along. Larry would not show it to me before. He wanted me to.
I haven't seen it either.
Neither has Don. So we're going to be watching it live as it happens. So here we go. Let's check out the Kickstarter video for this brand new, amazing Platypod.
Every landscape scene is unique, and so are the challenges we face while setting up our gear. The basic design of a tripod head hasn't changed in years. The day will come when tripod heads have no protruding knobs, uncanny leveling systems, and single-hand operation, so you never have to miss your shot.
Yeah, I wish.
Well, that day is here. We call it Platypod. Platypod is a revolutionary tripod ball head mount that has an inverted design. Let's take a look at what you can do with it. So today we're in beautiful British Columbia shooting our friend Oliver doing some downhill mountain biking. Platypod makes my life easier. I can level my camera faster, and since the panning head is on top, I never go off axis when panning. Using Platypod is effortless. It allows me to focus more on my shot and less on the setup. Platypod Elite has a built-in leveling indicator that allows me to get perfectly balanced shots. Other tripod heads have bubble levels. They're never in the right spot. It makes leveling difficult, and they're impossible to see at night. Now, there's nothing in my way. The level is dead accurate, and it's calibrated with my camera's level, or any other camera for that matter. Traveling and packing Platypod could not be easier. There are no protruding knobs, and it doesn't interfere with any of my gear. We all understand the challenges and difficulties when shooting at low light. Luckily, the Platypod's level is powered by an A23 alkaline battery. This battery can be found anywhere that sells batteries. It's very common and inexpensive. It allows for the level to have 3 different brightnesses, so you can shoot in daylight, sunset like right now, and at nighttime. Thanks to Platypod's unique twist-action, ARCA-compatible clamp and push-button controls, it's all single-hand ergonomics. The other hand is free to focus, adjust exposure, and take pictures. You never have to search for adjustment controls because your fingers are already there. And if you're a photographer that wants to use your in-camera level, there's also Platypod Ergo. Ergo retains all the same features as Platypod Elite, minus the LED modular level, which actually makes for a more slim design. Shooting with a heavy telephoto lens, it's not a problem. Both Ergo and Elite can handle up to 22 pounds or 10 kilograms of weight, thanks to its revolutionary worm gear mechanism. Platypod Elite sports a metallic red body, while Ergo comes in a cool gray. Platypod is a revolutionary product from Platypod, a leader in state-of-the-art support for photographers. This is our 3rd Kickstarter campaign, and we're a company recognized for quality, innovative products, and reliability. We so appreciate our backers from the past and look forward to your help in changing the future of photography.
Wow. First off, what a well-done video.
Far better than mine.
That was a really, really well done in multiple locations. The guy's cool. But of course, the star of the show is the actual Platypod itself. We have one right here in Ferrari red. Well, it's not really Ferrari red. This is, what do you call this?
I think it's blood red.
Blood red. Anyway, look at this bad boy. Look at that. Right? And you just put your hand on it. Of course, you put this hand on it so you have your other hand on your camera. press the little buttons. It unlocks it and locks it completely there. You know what's nice is, you mentioned it on the video just now, but it's like you were always looking for your knobs when you're using your thing. And you don't even have to look for them at all because your hand is already going to be right there. So you can just put your hand on it, you know right where they are to lock it and unlock it. And of course, this is the version that has the cool LED and all on the back that does the. Hey, so one thing he talked about briefly, but you showed me earlier. This is so amazing about this. But you want to hit the button first?
Let's hit the button, and then we'll talk
And then I'll
about
tell you
it.
about
People
this.
are waiting out there.
All right,
to
here we
start
go. All right,
backing.
so everything's done. All we have to hit is launch now. Right here, just tap it on screen, and it says drum roll. Boom. It says launch now. There we go. Congratulations, your product is live. All right, so where can they go find this? Kickstarter.com and
Actually, the easiest way to go is just go to platypod.com, and our audience out here is testing that out just to make sure it's linking right in. Working? Okay, we're up and running.
Okay, so if you get one of these right now you have to get it in the first 24 hours, you get a free Platypod Ultra with it.
That's right. We've got a special deal, and this is really because our Kelby audience is listening live, and they have the ability to do this. But anyone else will, please tell your friends. Just go to platypod.com. It'll take you right into Kickstarter, and you can back the project. And we've got our very first backer. How do you like that?
All right. Somebody got it. All right, way to go. So this is very exciting, and this is obviously I think the most unique ball head of its time. First off, look at the top. You've got like an Arca Swiss type of.
But it's
It's round. I've never seen a round one.
So yeah, we made it round just to get it easily on and off. You don't have to turn any screws at the bottom. You can just take any device, screw this right onto your. Here's a camera. And even though this has an L plate, I think this L plate has 1/4-20s on the bottom. So you can just put it on there. Obviously, you're not going to use it just like this. Is just to show you how it goes on. Spin it on there, and you can mount it right on our Arca-compatible.
I was playing with it earlier. It's actually much more secure than I would have originally. I was really tugging on that stuff because I thought that it was not going to be as contacting on either side.
Well, if you notice, we put a little dent in there
put the little
just
notches
so
in there.
that it grabs it nicely. But you can mount any Arca compatible clamp onto here. I'm sorry, any Arca compatible quick release plate onto our clamp, and you just twist it on and lock it in place, and it'll hold your camera.
And I tried it. It is rock solid. I tried it earlier. Once you turn that little thing,
It holds.
It holds like
holds.
a boss.
And we also put little indentations on it, so if you have those security screws at the bottom of your L bracket, even if it loosens a little bit, it still won't slide off because it'll catch into those little wells.
Oh,
Like
very
that.
clever.
So we've maintained the security of that. Both Platyballs are exactly the same, except for one has the electronic level and the other one doesn't. Some people
Now
felt
you
that
got
they don't
8
need it.
backers.
And okay. So for this, you
Ooh,
just
the money just keeps
you
going
just
up.
flick a switch,
9.
it turns on. Okay, and then it goes into active leveling mode.
Yeah, can you show this thing? So this is what I was
Well,
talking
I'm doing
about.
this backwards, so please bear with me. So you just go back and forth until the 4 center lights come on. I'm just doing this off the monitor. There we go. And now it's nice and level.
All right.
And now what'll happen is, even if...
Oh, someone's asking you about how much it is.
Oh, everything's on there on Kickstarter. So for the Kickstarter people, and you can go into more detail later, for Kickstarter people, the Platyball Elite is $249. The Platyball Ergo is $199. If you pay $20 more, we're going to fly them into the States and then distribute them, and you'll get them 2 months before everybody else, and that would be for December, and we are going to try very hard to get them out on time. We've always delivered on time, but please understand there's a lot that goes into this product. We are going to test it rigorously. We're going to make sure everything is 100% before you receive this, but we do expect to deliver on time. And yeah, you can see the prices on there.
Raj wants to know, can I mount it with an L plate? Well, yeah, there's one right here.
There's one right here.
Yeah,
So
we
if you
just
wanna
did it.
Go sideways.
Yep, goes right
so
on
there's
there.
your L bracket.
It's born to use an L
And
plate if you want.
You do that. It's got a little wheel on the side over here. I don't know if we can zoom in on that, and that'll lock the panning head and unlock the panning head. Oh, my fingers are a little.
I was honestly surprised at the price.
There you
It
go.
is
And
so
you
much
can
more
just-
affordable. After I seen all the teaser images, now that I can see that video,
people
the,
are
the
buying it
value
left and
here
right.
is exceptional.
All right, well, you got more than your one backer. All right.
And one super special, now the super special deal again is anyone who backs Platypod today and tomorrow
So for 24 hours.
for 24 hours, will receive a free Platypod Ultra, which is a $59 value. That deal is not going to be extended. It's not coming back. It's really our thank you to the Kelby community and to the rest of the world that believes in us and is willing to jump in and get us to that level that we need to be to show the world that there is support for this.
All right. Well, Mary Jo, I just lost her comment here. Mary Jo says, congratulations, Platypod folks. So she's sending you some love. Stuart Wood says, tell them the Don Com fan club is watching. Hey, good to have you here. And Liam says, just backed it. Boom. All right. Well, thank you very much, Liam. And wow, it is going. So, Larry, you have an 18,000 goal.
We might hit that.
Yeah,
during
we're going to
the
hit
show.
it here on the show. Here, we've already got about 6,000 just here in a few seconds. But you know what else too? This is what's going to happen. You're going to be out shooting with this, and everyone's going to walk over to ask you about it because nothing looks like this. Look at this. I love the. I got to tell you, I love the gray. Let me hold it up. You can see a little better. Can you get in tight on that? It takes us a long time to focus the camera. We're new at this. So there we go. And the finish is just beautiful on it.
And Scott, if someone can't make up their mind as to which one they want, we do have a super special deal. You will save $175 off of retail, plus get a free Ultra if you sign up today by just getting both.
Wow.
$399 gets you both the Ultra and the Ergo.
You know what's nice, and I talked to you about this. So early on, we were talking about this, and I said, you know what? I think we'll really make this a success. I said, it's got to look and feel like it's machined. And it does. You did a beautiful job. Congratulations to your designers. This thing looks like quality. When you hold it,
It's
when you
solid,
feel
yeah.
it, not only is it solid, but it's ergonomically very, it just looks like, ooh, I want one of those. And I think that's going to have a lot of appeal, that it looks like something really, really cool. We have some comments coming in here. So Sarah asks, so how much higher is this than a regular ball head? So in terms of higher off to the ground, will your camera, let's see, how much higher off the ground will your camera be when attached to a Platypod? 4 inches?
It's 5.1 inches
Oh, is
from
it 5 inches?
base to top, correct.
All right, so 5 inches.
Yes.
So a standard tripod, you're going to be 4 inches? Not much taller.
Well, I've been using for 35 years. I've had a very nice Manfrotto head, and that is a little over 5 inches.
Oh, is it about?
Yeah, it's a heavy-duty head will take that. Some of the other heads are a little bit shorter, but
Look at the
usually
stand.
within
It's
4
so
and 5.
nice.
Yeah, that's one other really nice feature that is brand new here, and you won't see this, I don't think, anywhere else, and that is that we have carabiner loops. So if you want to just hook this onto your backpack or your belt or something like that, you can carry it, and to protect the finish, it'll be supplied with a neoprene jacket that'll just kind of slip right over with a little chin strap.
It's funny because I'm wearing a
hold it in-
neoprene jacket today.
And hold it in place. Yes, he goes diving in that too. It's amazing.
Hey, thanks.
Yes,
I got
it's
some
a-
laughs off that. Thank you. Thanks. Larry, Skip. Anyway, so, but here's what I want. Here's showing me that I was so impressed with. So you put a camera on here. Now, you're to get your camera level, so let's say that you get this perfectly level, but your camera is not level.
Right. So the problem is with a standard ball head, if the base or the leg, the tripod legs are not level, you can level the top, but all of a sudden when you're moving the base, because the panning's at the bottom, everything is going to go off axis and face towards the ground. With the Platypod, once you've leveled, even if the bottom is completely off level, once you've leveled the top, you're level, here, just loosen that, you're level all the way around. So you don't have to level your tripod legs at all to get this right. And we can do something else that others can't do. And this is meant to go on any tripod, not just a Platypod. You put this up on a tripod, you put your camera here, and you can do a vertorama with this, where you can take a series of panoramic shots. Say you're in a church or a library. Library of Congress has beautiful frescoes all over the place. You can take from the bottom to the top and over back just like this. You cannot do that if your panning is at the bottom. All you're going to do is spin it around sideways. So there's functions that we can do here that you just really can't do with a regular tripod.
Larry, I have a quick story. When I was first buying my my first serious tripod, I bought a 5-way pan head. I think I paid around $600 for it. It had a similar feature, but it had all of these arms on it. It didn't have a ball head design. Nothing like that existed. I paid significantly more, and it was far less useful. In fact, it was so cumbersome to use that I never actually used it to do the panorama feature, because to get everything level out in the field by moving all of these separate components, it was not useful. It was not helpful. It took me away from taking the photograph, and this doesn't look like it will.
Scott knows this very well. I've been doing photography. I may be a physician, but I've been doing photography since I was a teenager, and that's always been my side passion. It's been my dream for about 4 years to come out with this, and thank you to all the backers who are helping us to get there. I think we're getting close to the goal already.
You're not going to hit that goal, Larry. I don't think it's going to happen. You'll never get to 18,000.
Anyhow, but as a photographer, I said, you know what? What would I want in the ball head? And I put the features that I wanted in here. I've got a wonderful team of designers and engineers that helped me put together, and I thank you. I'm not going to name people because there's too many people. I don't want to leave them all out.
Some guy named Bob is one of them.
I will thank my #1 inspiration. That's my wife, Minna, and thank you very much.
Your wife, Minna, is a doll. You are a lucky, lucky man.
I am.
She
She's
is
the best.
just the best.
And all my kids and grandkids and everybody. But I want to thank the entire team, my marketing team and my engineering team, for helping this come to fruition. It's quite amazing.
All right, we got some more comments. So M. Leland asks, how accurate is that 22-pound weight rating? Will it handle a Phase 1 XF and 120 macro?
It's very specific.
That's a very specific question.
Absolutely. We will not push this out until we have thoroughly tested. In fact, when we do a 22-pound rating, we're actually going to be hanging a 35-pound object off it sideways, put it on there, come back 5 hours later and make sure that it is still laser focused on the same spot. So these are just prototypes that we have, but we're continually refining this. That's why you may see that our delivery date is pretty far down the line, because we are not coming out with this until everything is 100% perfect, tested. We're going to send it out to photographers. You are going to get the product that you are promised, because it's the same one that I want to use, and I will not settle for anything less.
All right, so a couple of questions about how much it weighs. So Raj is asking, how does it compare in weight with a Really Right Stuff ball head?
So I'll tell you, and by the way, I have only the best things to say about Really Right Stuff. I think they make wonderful products.
They do.
It is a different type of product than this, and the Really Right Stuff BH55 is 2 pounds. The BH40 is somewhere, I think, just a little bit, about the same as this. Now, the Platypod Elite is 1 pound 6 ounces. The Ergo is 1 ounce less, 1 pound 5 ounces.
So they're incomparable in weight, maybe
Correct.
a little less.
Correct. This is not a lightweight piece of junk. It is.
No.
Put it in your hand. It is solid.
It is
but
solid.
It will be a solid base for your
great.
camera.
I'm just so impressed, because I've just seen prototypes. I'm so impressed with how nicely it's just really, in person, it looks really nice. It's just so. It's what I was hoping that it would be, because we've been talking about this for years, and I've seen it in all its different variations, but it looks like nicely crafted. So congratulations.
We'll be at Imaging USA next week together with you, and we're going to be showing this to 10,000 photographers, and they'll get a chance to see it up front and up close and personal.
10,000 photographers and
really.
Eric Kuna. Because Eric Kuna will be there at the show. Now, we're going to do our live broadcast. So what Eric and I do is we walk the floor and basically give everybody a tour. And if people say, hey, will you go to this booth or that booth, we literally go by there and talk to them and get demos. So whatever's new at the show, whatever cool things are there, we'll be actually doing it live, and it'll be streamed to my Facebook page, and we also stream it for the Kelby One members and all that. So that's coming up. Dude, I don't think you're going to hit that 18,000 goal for another 30 seconds, maybe.
Who wants to be
who's
the
gonna,
dude
Who's
who
going
does
to put
it?
it over? Who's going to put it over the top? Anyway, but what else did I want to mention? There was another comment. So please, Topher's asking, can you please show how the buttons work?
Sure. Very, very simple. Okay. You just grab it. I'll do this with the Elite. Okay. First of all, to mount it, very simple. We have a steel reinforced mounting base, so it slides on. You just get it the first time into the screw, and then pops right on. The buttons, and there's little icons that show you which is lock and unlock. The top one, I don't know if we can get down and see this.
Oh, there it is. You just hit the
congratulations.
18,000
Yes.
goal. Congratulations.
Thank you all
Well done.
very much.
Look at
That
that.
means this is going to happen. All right. So,
It better now.
yes. The top button locks. The bottom button, you press it a few times, unlocks, and comes down.
It's a gradual thing,
and
right?
it's a gradual thing. You don't need a tension knob on here because you'll feel the tension with your fingers. And if you want to get to super tight hold, push it in with 2 fingers over there, and it'll be nice and tight.
I've
there.
never had to do that, though. I've never had to use the 2-hand. I mean, it gets really
No,
tight.
it gets tight enough. Look, how much does this camera weigh with this lens?
78
configuration?
pounds. Oh, I don't know. It's heavy, though. Because it's just, let me see.
5
Oh,
pounds?
that's 4 pounds, 9 ounces.
Exactly right. How did you do that? You got that
It's a
exactly
gift.
right.
It's a gift.
But realize that with 22 pounds, you're not going to overpower this unit. You'll be fine.
Hey, Mac wants to know. Hi, Mac. Shout out to Mac. Mac's been helping me on a project this week. Peace out to Mac. She's awesome. Asks, what happens if you run out of batteries in the middle of a shoot?
So I do recommend keeping some extra batteries. The battery's very simple, by the way. Keep one or 2 extra batteries in your pack. These batteries cost, depending with the volume, anywhere from $2.50 a piece. I bought a box of 50 for $25, so that's 50 cents. It's a small alkaline battery. Same type you would use in a garage door opener, or some of the key fobs have it.
But it lasts a long time, right?
And you can find these in practically any pharmacy or Home Depot. And this bag doesn't have it. We have redesigned it with a little pocket. You'll be able to keep a spare battery in here. We'll ship it with 1 battery. I would suggest buy another pair of batteries. They're cheap, they're easy.
Yeah.
How long does it last? It depends how bright you run it. We have 3 brightness levels on here, and I'll get that.
Hey, while he's doing that, if the batteries die, it doesn't stop the ball head from working. The ball head still
That's
keeps
correct. It's
working.
totally independent.
All it does, if the battery goes dead, you can't use the leveling device. That's it. Everything else runs. It's a regular ball head except for that little portion. So if it goes dead, it doesn't stop the shoot. It doesn't kill the shoot. It's just, new battery. We're about to hit 22,000. That is amazing.
All right. I think we've exhausted that. Let's talk a little bit more about Kickstarter and some
All right, let's talk about
microphotography.
Kickstarter, which apparently seems like a really good idea for people to do. It's really good. So now I've invested in some Kickstarter things. All of them I've really liked except for one. Have you ever heard of a product called Coin?
No, I haven't.
So the idea behind it was really great. Is you would get this one credit card and load all your credit cards into it, so you don't have to carry one credit card. So it's like Apple's wallet that came out right after I invested in it. So I have it sitting on my desk at home, but I don't need it because I've got Apple Pay and I've got the new Apple Card.
You run the risk whenever you back a Kickstarter campaign that either it will be obsolete by the time it comes out. I remember some devices that were specific to the old iPhone mount. By the time it was out, Apple had already switched the, not the mount, but the plug, to something different, and nobody was using a phone that was compatible with the device anymore. There was a famous failure. And I actually did an interview with the owner of the company of Trigger Trap, and they were going to come up with this really smart camera trigger, and right off the bat, the name that they had chosen from it got them sued as soon as they launched the Kickstarter campaign.
Oh.
So they had to change the name on the fly after the Kickstarter campaign had been announced, and they started struggling, and it never made it to market. The company went bankrupt as a result.
Wow. Was it called the Kodak?
No.
Trigger Trap. No.
They decided that they
The Nikon Trigger Trap.
They built their brand around the color red because they had red cables and everything else. And there happens to be a company that might be associated with that in their name in the camera industry.
Yeah, Red Cameras.
That disliked that.
Ooh, yeah, I bet they did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go. We're going to take a short break. Coming up next, we're going to be back really to the how to do the Kickstarter thing so we can all learn how to fund some projects. We're going to talk about photographers that have done this. They funded their own photo projects on Kickstarter. So it does kind of fit very well into what we do as photographers. But I'm just saying this long enough to see how high that jib will actually go. It's still going. I got to keep talking. Now let's go to break.
Howdy folks, Moose Peterson here. I want to invite you on my journey The Science of Wildlife Photography, my brand new class that's going to help you marvelous wildlife photographers really step up your game and hopefully infect the rest of you to come up and get involved in wildlife photography. I've got a ton of information I'm going to share with you. Things like how do you get close physically? How do you think about backgrounds? How you tell stories? How you sit there and use everything you learned before you get in the field to make the most of that time with that critter to make the most important, great one photograph that will reach out, grab people's heartstrings, tell a story, make a difference for our wild heritage. So come along and join me on this great class, exclusively here on Kelby One.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Oh, we're looking good. 26,656. There's 100 backers. Fantastic. Way to go. And 59 days to go. Very, very good. All right. We are off and rolling here. A couple of questions we're going to hit real quick. Hey, I do want to mention my new seminar tour, the one that I've been doing, the Ultimate Photography Crash Course, is going to Houston, San Diego, LA, and Phoenix. Those are coming up here shortly. First is the Phoenix. I'll be there on February 13th. I'll be hanging out with my buddy Larry Grace. Looking forward to that. And I'll be in San Diego the day before. So Wednesday, February 12th in San Diego at the San Diego Convention Center. I'll be at the Sheraton in Phoenix. And then I'll be in Houston in March. And then a couple of days later in Los Angelinos. So very excited. Go to Kelby One Live, KelbyOneLive.com, and I would love to see you out there. And you got nothing to lose. It's 100% money back guarantee. If it's not the freaking best photography seminar you've ever been to in your whole life at any price. Why do we do that? Because we're stupid. No, because people love it. They love that day. I'm so happy. I enjoy doing it so much you can't even imagine, because it is just, it's an eye-opening day for a lot of folks. And I have people come up after the first class and say, it was worth it just for this first class. I don't care if I learn anything else the rest of the day. And so I don't teach them anything after that. Okay, anyway, let's see what's going on. I've got some questions. Ben. Hey, Ben. Ben is from Swingin' London, baby. And Ben says, how does the pumping action work? Like, what's it doing inside of there?
I'm going to say this only once because we don't want to give away all our secrets. But for our Kelby buddies, we'll do this. These buttons here, just very quickly. These buttons here press on a certain little metal piece called a pawl. That presses on a gear attached to a worm drive, which spreads out these spreaders, pressing down on the ball, compressing the ball in. It's very elegant. This thing is packed inside with love and mechanical equipment to make this work beautifully, very elegantly.
All right.
And it's all brand new.
So Greg wants to know, why an A23 battery and not a standard AA or AAA battery?
Very simple. We couldn't fit it. We couldn't fit it. This is a
Couldn't fit
very
it.
tiny little space in here, and I hate button batteries. I just don't like button batteries.
Oh, yeah, the flat button batteries?
The flat button batteries.
The A20.
I also
no, what are they
didn't want to
called?
go with lithium
C
because that
something?
creates all kinds of shipping problems, and these things are dirt cheap. I'm telling you, you buy a bunch of them, they'll cost you between 50 cents and $1.50 a piece, depending on how you get it. And this may last you 2 weeks. It may last you 6 months at a time. I would just keep one extra battery. We will ship it with one battery so you can use it right out of the box.
All right. So somebody asked, we don't know who, somebody asked, will it be available on Amazon down the road?
It will be. You'll probably see that sometime spring of 2021. But we will not ship it out until we have given an opportunity to all our backers to respond to their surveys, and you'll read about surveys at the end of the Kickstarter campaign. And so our backers will get it first, and then the rest of the world will have it available.
So Jesse wants to know, will you also offer additional ARCA discs separately? So just the disc itself, these little bad boys.
That's an interesting question. We can do that. It wouldn't be difficult to do. I do suggest if you're using a big camera, and I think, Scott, you'd agree, we recommend that you buy an L bracket because it just makes it so easy for you to go from portrait to landscape.
It does.
Yes, we do go left and we do go right, but I think the right way to go is using an L bracket. But yeah, if there's demand for it, why not? I think we can do that.
All right. Jeff wants to know, the free Platypod Ultra that if you buy today with the backing, will it ship sooner or will it'll ship with the head?
I think Don's going to comment on shipping in a little bit, but shipping is an expensive proposition for a company, especially a small mom and pop like us, and so know that everything's going to ship out together.
You know, Larry mentions that it's a small mom and pop company, but it was announced this week that they actually have a larger market capitalization than Tesla. So just, when you say that, that's kind of like Microsoft saying they're a small mom and pop company. No, I'm just messing
I'm going to make a disclaimer
just
on
totally
that one.
messing
Yes,
with
totally.
you.
Yes.
Dale wants to know, is it sealed for like dust and grime and stuff?
Yes, it is. It's weather sealed. I will not say it's waterproof. Do not drop it into a stream. One nice thing about our electronic module is, we warranty it for a year. Let's say it fails afterwards. This module can be popped out in one piece, and we can send you another one, pop it back in. It won't be expensive. Very, very easy to replace. It's totally modular. There's no real, other than the insert here, there's no real physical dependence between the ball head and the electronic module.
Nice. All right, we need to bounce back real quick to our Kickstarter stuff. So I know a number of photographers have put together particular projects. Like, I want to do this project. It's really unique. Will people, basically fund their project? And I've seen photographers doing that. Not always on Kickstarter, but they're literally funding personal projects and book projects and things like that from Kickstarter. So the process is you sign up, they review your thing, they may or may not approve it, yes?
I've never heard of any project that hasn't been allowed
And
through.
they do outline the rules.
They
for
outline all the
approval or
rules, but
disapproval,
nobody
right.
shouts from the rooftops
Right.
that their campaign was denied. Right.
What things do you have to look out for as someone who, are there dangers, are there problems you could get into as if I'm a photographer and I want to do like a book or a product or something?
Absolutely. First of all, vet this out to people who you trust will tell you, this is garbage, this is no good. Not just people who'll stroke your ego and say, oh, that's wonderful, because if it's going to fail, you want to know that way up front. Do not invest more money into a Kickstarter than you can afford to lose unless you are absolutely darn sure that it's going to go through to success. And in our case, honestly, the goal was just a number that we threw out there. We're totally committed to this. We were going to go ahead and produce this, and we knew pretty well from vetting this with photographers like yourself, Scott, that this was going to go ahead and be success. If you're not sure, set a goal that is realistic so that if you know that you don't meet that goal, you haven't lost too much, you can walk away from it as a whole person. So be very careful with that. But I would say peer review is extremely important. Vet it out, show it to people, whether it's a book or a product, have it critiqued well. And if the person you're showing it to does not have any critique on it, walk away. Don't believe them. Because there's something that can be made better on almost anything that you do.
Yeah, I got to hand it to you. I know how many photographers that you talked to them about this, showed them prototypes, showed them the ideas and all, and you took their input very seriously.
Absolutely.
Like I know that there are certain things like you would say, oh, this color was inspired by this person. This was done. I mean, there's so many ideas. I mean, if you look at the Platypod Ultra, there are so many brilliant things on that little piece of metal. That thing is just so. Can I tell you what I want to see my next Kickstarter from Platypod be? I want to see the Platypod Max designed like the Platypod Ultra. That's my next one.
Well, give us some time to get past this, and maybe we'll get to work on that.
And
For now, Max is Max. But
the Max is awesome.
No, we've heard it. We're not ready for it yet, but it's still great product. And maybe one day.
No, I don't think I'm taking anything away from the Max. When I go shoot a football game, dude, that Max, I've had football players run over it. I've had mascots run over my camera.
We had a car run over it.
It does not. You cannot damage that thing.
No.
Neither one of these are. I mean, they are made for, and that's why you've got so many fans literally around the world of these things. When people find out about them, wherever they are, if they're not sold and they're like, where can I get one? How can I get one? I mean, they've almost created their own cult about Platypod. So
thank you.
But I want to do the Kickstarter. I want to press the button on that one, but I want it to look like a huge version of this, just a big giant Ultra. What could we call it?
Max 2.
Ooh, the Max 2, because that way we can make fun of everybody that has a Max. Oh, you just have a Max? Oh, we're all using the Max 2.
Give us a few years, Scott. Hopefully we'll get there.
It's going to be great. All right, we got to take one more short break, and then we're coming back to wrap up the show with some other things. Oh my gosh, we're about to go over. Oh, look at it go. We're about to go over double the pledge that you needed to do the thing, that is just amazing. Thanks everybody out there who's doing this. That is very awesome. It's very exciting. And stick around. We'll be right back, right here on the grid. It's Platypod launch day. Woo-hoo! I've got.
What if I told you there's a workflow out there that was so dead simple that it fully automated everything down to just the need to press one button? All of your images will be in exactly where they're supposed to be without you thinking about any of it. That's the workflow that I designed in this course. I'm going to be going over exactly how to fully automate the entire workflow, and once this is done, you never have to think about it again. It's going to know exactly where to put your images, exactly what hard drives and what folder structures, exactly how to find your images, and then we're going to take it a step further to show you a workflow where we can completely ditch your laptop, ditch your hard drives. You could be halfway across the world, and with your phone or an iPad that I have here in front of me, have your images, the full resolution files, be backed up to your desktop drives at home. It's one system, it's dead simple. That's what I'm going to cover in this class. It's going to be a wild ride. Come check it out here at kelby1.com.
Hi, I'm Ibadi NX Perella, and I'm here in downtown Los Angeles. Have you ever been out on a busy street scene and you get out there and there's so much going on, you just don't know where to start? You get really frustrated, you make some snapshots, but they're so lackluster. Well, what I'm going to teach you are the very secrets that I use all the time to make great photographs from some of the most ordinary scenes imaginable. You'll learn in this class how, by just carefully observing and watching things sort of play out in front of you, visual miracles can happen just as a result of you just staying in place and seeing life play out in front of you. And this class is for more than just people interested in street photography. This is a way of how you see the world. So come check out my class and learn something brand new.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version too. So sign up today.
Scott here with Don and beautiful Larry. Just BL we call him, beautiful Larry, which also stands for big lettuce. Anyway, so Dave Thomas asks, and he says, how is this different than a pistol grip head?
That's a very interesting question. Did you ever use a pistol grip?
You know, my first ball head was a pistol grip.
I remember these, and they were made by Manfrotto, I think, originally, the pistol,
Yeah, I think
the pistol
so.
grip.
Yeah, I had a...
Pistol grip works opposite than this. With the pistol grip, when you leave it alone, it's locked. When you squeeze it, it then loosens, and then you reposition it. One of the problems with the pistol grips that a lot of the wedding photographers use, because a lot of them use them, is that you sometimes get a shift from when you lock it to when you unlock it. One nice thing about this, because it's a gradual tension, is that once you're basically in the zone, you keep pressing, it stays in the same position. So this is really an active locking, whereas the pistol grip is more of a passive mechanism. I hope that answers that question.
All right. All right, so we have some winners. So, but I do, before I mention the winners...
Okay, so the
yes,
pistol
please,
grips
of course.
in general do not have panning heads on them.
And pistol grips in general are kind of crappy.
Nope.
So
I didn't want to say that.
I can say it, though, because I'm not in the business. Okay, so we're going to be giving away a gooseneck.
Pair of goosenecks.
Sorry, it's a pair of goosenecks. They're loosey and they're goosey.
And geese will have one.
This book, if you don't win it, you can go to Amazon and buy it. It's like, I don't know, $18. When was the last time you spent 18 bucks and you learned a bunch of stuff? There it is. Platypod Ultra. This is an empty box. We're just going to send you the empty box. And Don was nice enough to say, he's going to give away one of his Kickstarter books that'll be out in March, the book that we showed earlier. He's going to give away a copy, so that was very gracious and generous of you. There it is, the macro photography, the universe, and this is a shot that this is the first one we were looking at today. Now you guys know I don't like insect shots, and if there's anything I don't like more than insect shots, it's a macro shot of one. But I got to tell you, I think this is really good. It's not disgusting, and that is an amazing shot. Tell us what we're looking at.
So let's remove the ant from the equation and just look at the basic setup. It's a blade of grass. Specifically, bluegrass makes very nice water droplets that hold their spherical shape. They act like lenses that way. So simple spray bottle, spray that with water, you get those droplets. In behind is an African daisy that just has a different colored center than the petals. Radially symmetrical flowers work great for this. Okay, you get those things in alignment. The flash, as you can see from the catch lights, is kind of off to the left-hand side, out of the frame, and then enter the ant. Now, ants are difficult actors. They don't cooperate with you.
Yeah, but they're delicious.
Aren't they?
Chocolate covered, especially, Scott.
These guys were crowding around my peonies in the spring, and I would just poke a stick at one. It would run up the stick, and I would hope, cross my fingers, that ant would run across the right way. It would go the other way. It would go on the back side. It would run into the droplets.
Don, wait.
I'm doing this outside in my garden.
You're moving them with a stick?
A little twig, yeah.
Well, that's cheating. This is nature. It has to on its own want to be on the. You can't move it with a stick.
What does Rick Salmon always say?
Rick
you can
Salmon
make a
said-
picture or you can take a picture. He likes to make a picture.
Okay.
I'm making a
I'm
picture.
sorry,
It's
go on.
artwork here.
You go with
so,
that ant.
It was very difficult to get that ant in the right place. You rinse and repeat this entire process a number of times, and it might run into the droplets and just drag them along and not cooperate. This was an entire day spent to create a single image, and when I went into this, I didn't want it to be a success. I thought to myself, I just want to learn. I don't care if I just make mistakes today. I'm going to learn from this entire process, and I got lucky at the end of the day, and I finally got the shot. But this was done all handheld because I didn't know where the ant was going to be running along the blade of grass, where the composition was going to be. I have to move the camera around the subject as the center of rotation to frame everything up. And it was focus stacked, and it was a nightmare to deal with in post. And so there was a day of my life that was well spent, but so many days just like that amount to nothing but knowledge, and I'm happy with that too.
However, there is another part of this story that he's not telling you, and that is he's starting and releasing his own Kickstarter today. It's called the Ant Stick. It's a specially designed stick for moving ants. It only moves one ant at a time. But I will say this, he uses regular AA batteries, so there's that. Maybe it's time that we announce the winners. What do you say, Don?
Sure.
Let's announce the winners of the stuff. All right, congratulations to these fine folks who just won some cool stuff here on the grid. First off, Gord, congratulations. You won a Platypod.
Max?
It says Max.
It says Max.
Do I mean Ultra or Max? What is it this week?
Oh, go for a Max.
Now you're getting a Max. You got upgraded.
Don's going to be generous. I'm going to be generous.
Upgrade. Too. All right. Riley just won a copy of Don's awesome macro book. So congratulations to Riley, and thank you very much again, Don. There's the book. That cover's just freaking awesome. I swear, that should win like cover design of the... Oh, look at that, another insect.
Oh, there was so many other images we didn't get to, but...
That's really beautiful, though.
What is
that? What am I looking at?
So, you are looking at a piece of hackmanite, which is a fluorescent mineral that I've wrapped a grapevine around, that I've lit with ultraviolet light, and I've placed a green immigrant leaf weevil, very specific, on the grapevine, and I've used a microfogger, which is a little tiny handheld fog machine to give some atmosphere into the scene, and this was another day spent in frustration.
All right, what kind of thing is that, a weevil?
It's a weevil. It's a type of beetle.
Hey, Juan, we have a package of those, don't we? Can we bring those out here real quick? And we always keep a package of weevils.
Scott,
don't you?
Aren't you going to mention something about the fact that it's a beetle?
Oh, it's a beetle?
It's a beetle.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great beetle. All right, so, yeah, that's it. It's really gross. Okay, so, Raj, congratulations. You won the double goosenecks. They're Lucy. They're goosey.
And every goose has got one.
And every goose
and I
has
highly
got
recommend
one. Highly recommended. You know what? All joking aside, you showed these at Photo Plus East. They created a frenzy at the show. They sold everyone they had. They had to sell the sample.
We did.
It was like everybody wants one of those. All right, and then also my book at the bottom of the pile here goes to Stefan. So, Stefan, congratulations. Christina will reach out to you through the magic of the internet to find out your shipping addresses, and there you go. So, congratulations to all of you. And we're going to kind of have to wrap up because we've run over time, but congratulations to you, Larry, for coming up with a brilliant product. I know this has been a labor of love for you, and now that I see it in person, I'm very impressed.
And
we're over 200%.
Can I say one other? And Scott, can I still call you Scott?
Yes, you may, please.
Thank you.
Actually, Mr. Kelby would be fine.
I want to say thank you because you've been a tremendous inspiration in this project, and you've critiqued it along the way, and you've helped to also to make it what it is, and I just appreciate all your help.
Well, the pleasure is absolutely mine. We are we just went over 40,000, so there's your I think we hit your 18 pretty good there. Oh, it's still going. This is crazy. Anyway, thanks to everybody who backed this wonderful, cool project. And Don, where can people go learn more about you and your amazing macro photography?
You can find everything at doncom.ca. That's DONKOM.ca. Everything's linked to there.
Wow. All right. Well done. All right. I want to thank all of my crew here. We want to thank Skip and Larry, our energetic studio audience. Wow. I was expecting a little more from you guys.
Whoa, they heckled us. They finally heckled us.
And look, and see that. Look at that. You know, and there's Christina. There's Christina over there with her headphone on. You know, we did a shoot the other day. So I got a quick story. We did a shoot on location the other day. We were taping a class, and Christina was there, and she's outside. She's got a ball cap on. She's got her sunglasses on and her clipboard. And I'm like, man, you look like a producer. I mean, she is a producer. That's her full-time job. But is like, she had the look, like, it's like, here, wear this, and you will look like a producer. People are going by. Now, we're outside shooting in, like, downtown, and we have all these lights and all this stuff set up out there and all. And she's like, yeah, do this, do that, yeah. And I'm like, you're in your production zone.
And where's Jason?
Jason's in the booth. So Jason is our director. He's in the booth, and he was out on location with us. But
thank you, Jason.
Make sure that you see Jason's Instagram page if you do nothing else today. There it is. The digital surgeon. Ooh. You know what? I'll say this. He's a good photographer. You know what? Both he and Juan are like shooting lights out for photography, which is not fair because they're both so good at video. So look at this.
Beautiful.
Right? But let's go to the Juan Instagram, which is always fascinating. It's _ Juan Alfonso. So there we go. There's Juanie, and there's his top 9. There's your top 9. Oh, looking good, Juan. Ooh, I like the Amsterdam shots up in the left corner.
I love that Milky Way shot.
Juan gets around, doesn't he?
Gorgeous.
Ooh, look at that Milky Way.
Nice.
All right. Did Kuna show you that? Yep, Kuna's, he's got
that.
it. Ooh, nice. Juan, you're shooting good, buddy. Siesta Key, Florida. Very close to Skippy. All right. We've now really do have to go. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to our crew here. And we will catch you guys next week right here in the grid. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.